In lesson 2, we're going to talk about performance and how to describe somebody's performance. Some of these words are straightforward, but there's also an extremely important grammar structure. In fact, the most important structure in this entire level. And this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I'm going to explain it. So hang in there. Let's look at our straightforward words first. The first one is 教 教. This is a verb. For example, I want to say, I want to teach Chinese. 怎么说？教中文，教中文。啊，熊老师做什么？熊老师教中文。Next word, 哪里。We've learned this in other contexts. 哪里 where, like, where's that? 在哪里？在哪里？王鹏，你在哪里教书？你在哪里教书？ Where do you teach? The only tricky thing here is not to confuse this with the word 那里, 那里, which means that and is different from 哪里 by virtue of the extra mouth radical. Of course, because it's a question, it has a mouth radical to signify that someone's asking something with their mouth. There's an expression in Chinese called 哪里, 哪里. This is a phrase. Literally means where, but it's used when you're replying to a compliment and you're saying, oh, no, oh, you're too kind, you're too kind. Right? The idea is 中国人很谦虚, they're humble or modest, and they don't want to say, oh yeah, I'm really awesome. They want to say, no, that, where, that's who are you talking about, me? And then they would say in response to a compliment, 哪里, 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 哪里. Let's look at an example. Oh, your characters are so good. Oh, 哪里, 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 哪里. So if you really want to be a kind of a modest Chinese person, this is what you would always say if somebody praises you. So if someone says, oh, 你的中文很好. 你说什么？你说哪里哪里？我的中文不好。All right. Those are our straightforward words. Now on to something called a descriptive compliment. Now, if you guys remember, a compliment is a way to describe an action, to describe a verb, and it comes after a verb. Now, this is a so-called descriptive compliment because now you're describing the action of a verb using the word or using the particle 的. Okay. In this structure, this word is pronounced 的. We have previously learned this as a verb, 得, but here it is 的. Both of these pronunciations, both of these usages are very common, so it's a little bit tricky, but remember, there are two this character. One is 得, which is a verb, and one is 的, which is a structural particle used in this structure. Verb plus 的plus adjective. So how do you describe a verb? Like, for example, how do you say, oh, you sing really well? You write really fast. You have to use this structure, verb plus 的 plus adjective. Let's look at an example. 因为你帮我复习 review, 所以考得不错. So the structure here is 考得不错. The verb is 考, to take a test. 的 means nothing, it's a structural particle to connect the verb and the adjective. 不错, not bad. So how did you How is the test? 你考的怎么样？考的怎么样啊？我考的不错。Let's look at another structure. Now, if you want to add an object to it, you take the same structure, verb plus de plus adjective, and then you add another verb plus object in front of it. It's a little bit a kind of a repetition, and the idea is there's a grammatical reason for it, but the idea behind this whole structure generally is you're describing what you did and then describing it again using the verb a second time. So you're going to use the verb twice in this structure. Verb plus object plus verb plus de plus adjective. Let's look at some more examples. How do I say took the test very well? Okay, so took is a verb. The test is the object. And very well is the adjective. But I have to connect these somehow. Remember, our structure is, the whole structure with a verb object describing it is verb plus object plus verb plus de plus adjective. So, if I want to say 考试, that's a verb object, to take the test. 考试. 考, again, you have the verb repeated. 的很好。考试考得很好。Took, the test took very well. Let's look at another example. 他写字, we'll learn this character, this phrase later. 他写字写得很好. The verb here is 写, to write, and this person wrote it very well. How do I say he went to bed late last night? It's the same thing because to go to sleep is also a verb object. 睡觉, 睡觉 is a verb object. So you're going to repeat the verb by saying verb plus object plus verb plus de plus the adjective. 他昨天睡觉睡得很晚. Yesterday he slept really late. All right. That is generally how the verb plus verb plus object plus verb plus de plus adjective structure works. As long as you just kind of remember that pattern and use it, you'll be okay. All right, and that's our lesson for today.